Welcome into episode 148 of the Wash Up Walkons. Going to be a quicker episode tonight. We have a lot of things that have happened today over this weekend. First of all, we're doing this right on the heels of the Cowboys-Seahawks game that kind of came down to the wire. Didn't have any skin on the game on that one, but an interesting game to say the least. First of all, DK Metcalf, just want to say, hey, thanks for being a dumbass.
And I want to say, hey, DK Metcalf, I might have drafted you as my captain on DK DraftKings, and who drops the ball like that? Fucking, this isn't slapdick hour. Come on.
Dude catches a 50-yard touchdown pass, walks into the end zone, and on the 1-yard line gets it punched out. Now, granted, incredible play, awesome example that'll probably be used forever in film rooms as how to not give up on a play. But I don't care because, DK, I put you in over Cooper Kupp. Okay, the Rams were playing the Bills. I thought maybe, Bills didn't have a great week last week against Miami. They're playing the Rams. The Rams are good, not great, not as good as they were a couple years ago. Cooper Kupp, good receiver. I thought maybe the Bills defense would get it done. They ended up with 0 points again. I'm going to have to look into that. But Ike and the Bills did get the win. Cooper Kupp goes for 25, and, DK had, in the end, a good game points-wise, but literally dropped the ball on a 13-point play. A 13-point play. It's neither here nor there. Kevin Ward. We are doing this just a tad later than.
No matter what happened in our day in fantasy and sports gambling, we still had a better day than Cream.
We had a better day than Kevin Ward. He, I first of all, I know Kevin, lived with him for a few years, and he just looks absolutely pissed right now. Kevin texted us about 5:30. And said, hey, my availability is Kevin was marked Q on the fantasy football lineup. He was questionable for tonight. It was a game-time decision. The coach decided to play him. He is in. Not sure how effective he'll be. Said that he had an old, I believe old hag was the term or something like that smashed his car. Kevin, welcome to the podcast. Talk to us about your day.
It sucked.
What? Come on. What happened? What happened to your car?
So, as you guys know, I work on weekends a lot. We were fixing some elder lady's hip, out of the goodness of my heart. I was there to help support the surgery, and I walk out, and what do you know? I'm like, why is my car halfway in another spot? I didn't park like that.
This is in the at the surgery center?
This is at the hospital. This is in the parking ramp, and I'm like, it's really weird. So I walk over to the other side and just notice the entire side of it is just smashed in because some elderly woman thought she was pressing the brake and she was pressing the accelerator and drove straight into the side of my car. And so my big ass Tahoe was a full space to the left.
I want to know, first of all, how hard she has to hit you to move your Tahoe in a horizontal direction. And then Second of all, I want to know what was going through this lady's mind when she just absolutely T-boned, fucking got a targeting call on your massive 2019 SUV.
Dude, your Tahoe is Joe Burrow today. And this lady's car was the guy who tore Joe Burrow's body in half on that. I don't know if you guys saw that. You can search it, I'm sure, and find it quickly. Was she there when you walked out? Was she? Did she flee the scene?
No, she wasn't. I mean, security saw it. They got a police report and everything. And so
how long was this surgery?
I mean, I walked in the hospital. I don't remember the time, but I walked out like 2.5 hours later, and there's a police report on my windshield, and
oh my God,
half of my car is completely fucked. So whatever.
Was it? So did you drive it home?
No, I had to get it towed. Got to get a rental. It's a shitty day, boys.
Dude, you are stressed as hell right now.
I'm not stressed. I'm just very upset.
Oof.
And it's not even like, I mean, obviously, like insurance is going to cover it. Like, I'm
right.
You know, it's not. I'm gonna like they're gonna cover my deductible and everything. It's not even gonna be a penny out of my pocket. It's just really fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's when stuff like that happen. Oh,
you know, whatever. You know, at a certain age, I think people should just like have to be retested for driving tests, maybe more frequently than.
I'm 100% on board with that because I've seen a whole lot of senior citizens that have no business being on the road. They're actually much more of a liability than they are to be trusted.
I think the age has to be at least 85, potentially lower. All you 85-year-olds who listen to the podcast, I'm skeptical about your driving ability.
Sell your car, download Uber.
Download Uber. Wow. So yeah, I cannot imagine Drake having a more stressful day than that, even though sometimes Drake does have some stressful days. I rarely have stressful days, and definitely not that stressful. So I feel for you, Kev. Glad that you made the attempt to sit down on the podcast and show the face. Contribute.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're struggling for content, so whatever.
Yeah, we need that content. All right. Quick episode again. Like Kevin just said, there's not a whole lot going on. These early week episodes, the Monday episodes, are going to be mostly Hawkeye game breakdowns when we get there, and we're a month out. People, we're so damn close. But we're not there yet. So ideally, on these Monday, Tuesdays, when you're listening to us on your way to work or at work, wherever. We'll be breaking down the Hawkeyes' previous game and what's going on. For now, no Hawk games. There are people who did play yesterday. And
for now, I'm just going to say that Iowa State is fraudulent and Brock Purdy is not their king like everybody said he was.
Yeah, let's start there. Iowa State at TCU yesterday. I would not call Brock Purdy a Heisman candidate through 2 games. That's just me. I'm not a QB guru, but I do know football a little bit. And he and them as a whole, I don't think are what Iowa State was hoping they would be. I don't know. That's really all my thoughts.
Hey, Iowa State and their fan base is like that one ex-girlfriend that never gets it. And she just always keeps coming back thinking that there's a chance. And you just got to let it go.
You think I almost feel – because I have a lot of friends. I mean, Kyle. I just interviewed Kyle like 3 episodes ago. He's a good buddy. You know, I have family members who are Iowa State fans. I have a family member who played for Iowa State, been around people who like Iowa State. It's almost sad. Like I almost feel bad for them, because like they want to be so good every year, and they've been okay for a couple years in a row now. I think Matt Campbell is actually a really good coach. I think he's better than Paul Rhodes for sure, but they're just not there. And
I'm interested in what you think the difference in the level of work that we put in is between like how hard we truly ground our balls to the stone.
You know, that's a great question. I try to answer this question too. When I look at programs play, or I hear when we were in school, we would always, there were plenty of guys who we played against in high school who went off to play for different schools. And I always felt like, and for all you Doyle haters, because of what happened this summer, you're just going to have to fucking deal with it. But I always felt like, because we had Doyle on our side and he was running the program, I truly believe that we worked harder than anybody in the country. I truly believe that. Now, could I prove that? Would there even be a way to prove that? Probably not. But I always told everyone when they asked, oh, how's football? How's Iowa? It's like, we're grinding, like Coach Doyle, we work harder than anybody. Our strength conditioning is better than anybody. Like, we develop better than anybody. And Iowa State, I know everybody else is out there in the summer working. They're doing 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours a day, weightlifting, skills and drills type stuff, conditioning type stuff. So I know they're grinding too. I don't know what the difference is. I think a huge difference for Iowa State is if you look at their roster, the makeup of their roster is much different on average than Iowa's. Iowa's is very heavy on Iowa kids. And then, Coach Ferentz and the staff, they go and get their early in the process, they go and get their guy from Detroit. They go and get their guy from Florida, their guy from Texas, and then they build a class. And the class, there's attrition. Obviously, we've talked about that before, but the class pretty much stays the class. There haven't been too many transfers who make up, important parts of Iowa's team. Most recently, you've got JB, who came from Nevada. We've had a couple, the punter last year, the punter potentially this year if Taylor starts. They're like transferring in at a weird time or coming into the program at a weird time. Iowa State's roster is built. I mean, yesterday I was listening to the game. It's like a transfer from here, a transfer from there, like making a big impact. It's been this way for a while. They like to go get JUCOs and kids like that. And I feel like, again, back to the whole Doyle culture thing, Iowa's culture has just been better. It's hard to build a culture when you have 5 new guys come in at semester and it's their last year, and another 5 come in. They haven't built that 4-year resume at the university with the coaches. Coaching staff being there, being fired. That's been a thing at Iowa State as well. But I don't know. What do you think?
Kev, you got anything, bud?
I mean, it's a valid point. It's hard to build chemistry with high turnover and with guys coming in for, like Kluwer said, 1 year or 2 years after a JUCO. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
All right, now let me ask you this question. How, on a scale of 1 to 10, us being the 10 in this scenario, how tough do you think Iowa State's average team was? Because when we stepped on the field, we weren't the same level, and we all know that. So where do you think they were?
I mean, yeah. Again, hard to quantify, but I would say like
talking about physically or
6.5
mentally?
or 7. I don't know.
Just the whole package,
7?
the whole package that they brought.
7 if we're 10. 70% of what we were. I don't know. I'll say this all the time. At least the teams that we played against at Iowa State, they ran on juice, like that game day juice. It seemed like, and if there was no game day juice, then it's tough to. If the tank's empty, tough to drive your car. So, yeah, I just felt like we were based a little bit more on tradition, wanting to play better, being tougher mentally. 7 out of 10. I don't know what it's going to take for Iowa State to get over the hump, but it's a good question. I'm not sure. Let's see. Iowa State ends up beating TCU. I don't even know what the final score was, but it was close. It was like
38-35, I think.
Yeah, 38-35. Yesterday in college football, other things happened. Number 3, Oklahoma. The Big 12, really just interesting conference as a whole. Number 3, Oklahoma loses to Kansas State for the 2nd year in a row. Not only that, but I believe Oklahoma was up 21 at one point or something like that.
Kansas State scored 24 unanswered to come back and beat the Sooners.
At Oklahoma. So that's embarrassing. Not much to say
Spencer
there.
Rattler is not the Heisman.
No, he's not. And I don't like his haircut. But it's whatever. Anything else?
Texas is not back.
Texas is not back. Granted, they do pull out the win in overtime. It kind of an impressive last 3 minutes of regulation. However,
Gave up 56 points to a team that almost lost to Houston Baptist 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
For you sports bettors out there, any game with Texas in it, the over is probably value.
Yeah, because they can score and they don't. Potentially, if you
they couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, I'm not sure what honestly happened. If you like scoring, I guess watch those two teams play. The defending national champions are figuring out that it's tough to play football without Joe Burrow. Number 6 LSU loses by 10 at home to Mississippi State and Mike Leach. And boys,
Bro, he threw for 606 and a quarter.
Stupid.
Honestly, like I kind of wanted to play Mississippi State. I think they were getting 2 touchdowns, but being the first week, we had LSU lost so many guys to the
so
draft.
much talent.
Their entire offense is gone.
Pretty much, like you open the cupboards after last season, and Ed Orgeron was like, "Holy shit, we got a bunch of expired milk in here."
Mike Leach after the game, he was asked like, I'm not even sure the question. It was something like, "What do you think about coming in and playing LSU to open up the season?" And Mike Leach's answer, for any of you, just go to type in Mike Leach into YouTube, and it's incredible content. He says, "Well, we played LSU because Green Bay and New England and the Ravens all had somebody scheduled for the first week, so we had to settle with the Tigers." And he just is so good.
I don't know how you cannot like Mike Leach. Like, he's just a very likable guy, I think.
I would have loved to play for him. Like, obviously KF is like, I think maybe a top 5 guy to play for. Biased, of course. Mike Leach, another one of those dudes. Like,
and the funny thing is that Coach O would probably be my number 2.
Oh, I'd love to.
So it was just the coach on the opposite sideline.
Yeah, there's some dudes out there that would be fun to play for. Anything else? Florida State sucks absolute nuts.
Trash.
But the U might be back for real.
Think so.
The U might be dude. They can score a lot of points.
They can score,
They're
but
playing
also
Florida State though. So
right, and Miami's going to figure out if they're back. Hold on, let me click. Yeah, in 2 weeks they play Clemson, so we're going to figure out if the U is back to 2 decades.
Well, guy, it's not the 2001 Hurricanes. This ain't 2-0 E. boy, the best DB boy. This is they're not going to beat Clemson, guy. But
no, but if they're going to go against the best, we're going to see if they can keep it close, then I'll give in on that. Army lost by 14 to Cincinnati, which made me real sad because I picked Army to win straight up, and I kind of liked that pick, especially after listening to some guys on Game Day and some other people, other places that were kind of talking bets.
Well, if you took the line, that was another one of my maybes you would have pushed. I would have liked Army to cover.
Yeah, so that was a ranked matchup. Ranking's not so important right now because the Big Ten and the Pac-12, they're just now being considered for that.
How about the Pac-12 coming back? Good old peer pressure, right?
Peer pressure. I saw your tweet. Peer pressure at its finest. It's true. No one's at this point. No one's going to be the only conference not playing football, right? Like, what AD or what group of ADs and presidents are going to be those assholes? Like, oh yeah, we're the only teams in the country that didn't play this year, and everyone else was fine.
Only the ones that didn't realize that it was fake news.
I think it's the Ivy League still is not going to play.
Yeah, I mean they have things to worry about. They're studying. That was about it in college football. Nothing too exciting. Again, getting slightly more exciting though with the college football stuff.
Yeah, yesterday definitely felt like the first somewhat real day of college football, if that makes sense.
The SEC being back helped for sure.
And but there's some like good ACC matchups too. Like the first 2 weeks, like there was like hardly any, like
it was
Power
all
5 versus Power 5 teams playing.
It was exhibition games across.
Yeah, it was super sloppy. And yesterday was like the first full slate. So, we're what 4 weeks now out from 3 weeks and change from Big Ten football.
All right. Yep. Yes. Some things that did happen in the Big Ten since we last talked. Purdue, first opponent for the Hawkeyes this year, Rondale Moore is opting back in.
That's just feels bad for the boys.
Feels bad. Rondale Moore is potentially he's a top 5 athlete in college football. He's maybe a top 5 player in college football. He's electric. He's going to go to the league and do a lot of things that are. He's going to be
Tyreek Hill like things.
Yeah, he's gonna score a ton of fantasy points for some team out there. And the Hawks are gonna have to game plan for him in game 1. Doesn't I
get it cleared?
Bateman? I don't know. So this is the thing, like, right? So they all declared, hey, no season, cool. We're gonna opt out and go for the NFL. You have to imagine they signed with an agent. They got on the process right away. Like,
I don't think Moore did. I know Bateman did, though.
Bateman did. So I think Moore was able to come back in right away because of that, right? So, but right. Bateman for Minnesota, the wide receiver for them. What I'm hearing from most people who potentially don't know shit, because the NCAA tends to just do what they want. They don't think that those guys who signed are going to be able to. They don't think they're going to get to play. And the reason is because
there's really no interpretation there. If you sign an agent, you're ineligible. I think that's like written right under the NCAA logo.
Right. Yeah, it's like their number 1 rule. And I know it's COVID and all this shit, but you kind of have this unfair advantage. Like, okay, well, you got to keep a foot in this pool and a foot in the other pool. Like, you can't just do that. I'm not worried. The Hawks, as far as betting goes, I think it definitely changes the game. I'm a little less high on the Hawks in the opening game now if you're looking at a point spread, but I still take the Hawks to win. I did talk to Josie, played a little bit of Call of Duty with Josie Jewell yesterday, and he said he listened to the podcast where we were talking about Jack Campbell being more athletic than him. He was not happy about that, and I told him.
Of course not.
I told him that I thought it was funny that he was not happy about that, and then he goes, "No, but really, I hope he is, and I hope that the defense is elite because it would be fun to watch." And I was like, dude, if that's true and they are actually if he's that good, it'll be something entertaining to.
It's super unfortunate that the Broncos lost Von Miller and that their offense is complete garbage because. Having Josie and OJ starting on that team and Noah on the offense, that's a really fun team to cheer for.
Noah's killing it. Noah and
he is.
are both killing it.
But the thing is, the Broncos just got thrown out of the stadium today. So
yeah, they're not good. TJ, I saw a tweet right before we hopped on the mic. First tight end in Lions history to open up the season with 3 straight games of 50 yards or more. Also, the first tight end since 2010, Brandon Pettigrew, to catch 4 balls, go over 50 yards in 3 consecutive games. So TJ's killing it. Noah's killing it.
I'm just like, who keeps track of these fucking stats?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. So nerds in their basement are just like, well, if he caught it on the left side of the field 4 times and the right side of the field 3 times, and he had Fruity Pebbles for breakfast that day, he's the first tight end to do that in the last 17 years. So pretty good. No, but
yeah. I think basketball is the worst one for it, but people just come up with some wild stats.
Like, if you want, you can find a way that
everyone listening to this podcast could find something that they've done better or the first time ever
than anyone in the world.
Or something like that.
Exactly. But yeah, that's about it. Other Hawkeye things. AJ Epinesa got his first sack today for the Bills on Jared Goff. Pretty cool. So it's good to see him doing well.
How'd you guys parlays do?
Not good.
Mine lost because of Arizona.
So the mortal lock we had was the Titans -2.5, and
How about fucking Clowney being a complete clown and
that was tough.
Six?
That was tough.
It's tough.
So the Titans end up winning 31-30 against the Vikings, who for some reason decided to play a little bit, but then also just die at the end. And so the Titans win by 1 point. My 3 picks were the Titans -2.5. I liked the Raiders +6.5. That didn't do well either. And and I like the Falcons. And what do you know? The Falcons are up 16 with like 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
And then Big Dick Nick comes.
And Nick Foles comes in, and it's instead of 26-10, all of a sudden it's 30-26. And
listen, dude, Arthur Blank has to be on absolute suicide watch by now because his team has blown more fourth quarter leads than anybody in history.
I'm just not. I liked that Falcons pick, and it looked so good until they just decided to. I mean, so I was 0 for 3, horrible.
I got in on Seattle today, and that one was just fine. And I got in on the Niners today. That one was just fine.
Also, Drake said to stay away from the New York teams. The Colts beat the Jets by 29 points, and the Niners beat the Giants by 27 points. So
fade the state of New York.
A complete dumpster fire of a team.
And listen, I think this is 2 weeks in a row where the Bills didn't cover as well. So
correct.
It's just the whole state of New York. You're profitable betting against them.
And I'm going to do it next week. I swear to God, I'm doing it next week because
so am I.
You're right. The Bills, who you would think like they're supposed to have this number 1 defense on fantasy, all this thing, they've got 0 points the last 2 weeks in a row on fantasy. I don't know what the line was. They only beat the Rams.
They can't get to the quarterback. That's the problem.
Yeah,
they've got a great secondary, but nobody can get to the quarterback.
They need to just play AJ Moore. And they didn't cover against Miami. They didn't cover against the Rams. And so I'm pissed. And yeah, just bet against New York teams. Just an update before we get off the mic here. The Packers are up 3-0 early on the Saints. So that's what we're about to go watch.
Yep,
but
and don't forget that Drake told you to take the Pack +3.
Yes, you did. And then really the highlight of the NFL is tomorrow night. Former MVPs Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson, Chiefs versus Ravens. It's going to be a great Monday night game.
If you force me to pick one, you force me because you want to bet and you want to tail us. I'll take Ravens -3.5.
It's tough. I don't even know. I like the Chiefs until, man, I don't know. It's at the Ravens. Again, that doesn't mean a whole lot right now, but yeah, I'll take Ravens. I didn't like what the Chiefs put out on the field against the Chargers last week. I'll take Ravens as well.
I'll take the points. Give me three in the hook. I'll take the points.
Yeah. So that's about it.
I don't know if depending on what the game opens at. Because I would try and get it right before kickoff. So if it moves a half a point one way or another, maybe take the other side.
Yeah, it all depends what you can get it at.
Yeah, I mean, to me, these teams are both pretty damn good. So I'm just going to take the 3 free points. I see what the line is. I'm just taking your word for it.
I just want a good football game, and I'm sure we'll get that.
You see, the presidential debate was supposed to be on Monday, and then they moved it to Tuesday.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Shows you where our country's priorities are at.
Dude,
and they're right where they should be because honestly,
I'm not political at all, but anyone who tweets about, I would love to have we would lose all of our listeners because no one likes to talk about politics. I think it's hilarious because I can talk politics with anyone and not get offended. Whatever, you could be all the way right, all the way left. I'm like a centrist. I'm right down the middle. I literally could not, and I literally don't give a shit. But I love. First of all, I can't wait till the elections are over. But I can't.
Oh man!
But
I can't listen to these people slander
each
other anymore.
Yeah, the Civil War that's coming, the $13
because I'm sure the losing side is going to take this in a completely rational and healthy manner.
Yeah, right. I just can't wait till gas is $13 a gallon. That's what the commercials are telling me. So
let the fireworks begin.
Like The Rock put out like an endorsement for Biden and Kamala Harris. And like so many people, I just went to his comment section. It's like so many people, wow, so disappointed in you, Rock. Just lost a fan. Like, dude, if you're that bent up, like if you really think, I'm not going to get into it. It's just hilarious how people think that they're right. Like, I'm for President Trump. I'm right 100%. I'm for Joe Biden. Our side's right 100%. Like, guess what? No one has it figured out.
The crazy thing, no, not so much that, it's like that you let other people's political opinions affect your opinion of them that much.
Now, 100%. Let me ask you guys this. Since when did it become cool to even discuss politics or religion? Because when I grew up, my family told me that those are the things you don't discuss between other people. Those are between you and you. Since when does everybody think it's cool to just not only display theirs outwardly, but then just bash everybody else's?
Since social media.
I have no problem. Like, I'll talk politics with anyone because I think it leads to a healthy discourse. You can have very intelligent conversations. I'm not going to walk into the room and start talking politics, but if someone wants to have a conversation about it, I'm always open for it. To push your beliefs on someone else is kind of crazy. I mean, you can have a civil debate and present your side and the way you think, but to say, hey, I'm right, there's no in between, and spout off on Twitter about it and say everyone who thinks differently than I am is Hitler or Stalin is like, that's where it's gotten out of control.
Hey, Hitler was a great public speaker.
He was.
He had some good qualities.
One of the world's greatest leaders, regardless if you agree with his
amateur
methods
artist
or not.
Amateur artist and author as well. The Walkons don't support Hitler, by the way. Just please don't take that anywhere.
Jokes, people.
So real quick before we finish the podcast, there's one more thing happened in kind of college football. It was announced that everybody will be bowl eligible this year.
That Nebraska is ecstatic about it.
And so that was the joke. It was like, it must be the Nebraska rule or the Iowa State rule because they know they're going to go 4-4 or 5-4 or whatever. What do you guys think about that? Obviously you have to change it up because teams aren't going to get 12 games in. So the expectation of 6 is now a higher percentage of what you're going to play.
I think it'd just be interesting to see how bowls pick who goes where and stuff like that.
Very, very interesting.
I think it'll be funny.
I'm not exactly sure how many bowls we'll have. I'm sure they're going to cut some, like the fucking Bahamas Bowl wasn't happening this year. Right?
Dude, they're going to have to make like the poopy diaper bowl between Rutgers and Maryland or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
a lot of people have discussed
already getting the poopy diaper bowl. It's going to be Rutgers versus
Florida State.
No, who comes in last in the West?
Illinois.
I think Illinois.
I mean, Illinois.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
really excited for that week.
Yeah, give me Rutgers, Florida State in the shitty Huggy Bowl.
The Huggy Bowl. That's incredible. People have discussed what if a bowl decides, hey, screw it, let's take Iowa and Iowa State and play it in the bowl game.
My dad was saying he saw something like that, like playing in Nashville or something.
Wouldn't that be something? That would
be legendary.
Because then you give all the Iowa State fans, you give them what they want. Oh, Iowa State gets – first of all, they always claim, well, Iowa State gets better throughout the year. Okay? Any good team does, first of all.
Okay, question for you. If that happens, do you not only just play for the –
Oh, you play for the Cy-Hawk.
Yeah, okay. I was about to ask.
You play for the Bowl Trophy and the Cy-Hawk Trophy. So it's the ultimate, like, you're lifting 2 trophies up. Oh, man. I would love to see it. And I know the Hawks would take it on, so.
I'm here for it.
I don't know. That's it. Episode 148. Again, more to talk about. We'll keep talking NFL and college football, but there isn't going to be a lot of Hawks stuff until they start playing in about 3.5 weeks. So we'll be back Thursday, and hope you guys have a great week. And
until then, just make sure when you're trying to press the brake that your foot is on the brake.
Yeah. All gas, no brakes, unless you are the woman that hit Kevin's car, in that case, you should find the brake.
But in which case, she was absolutely all gas, no brakes. The more that I think about it, I'm pro this woman.
Yeah, I like this
side.
girl.
All gas, no brakes. Didn't break my leg for no shit. Hawks by 1 million. And Los Angeles is Latin for whale's vagina.
It's San Diego. It was German, but okay.
Man, I knew it was something. I was just trying to Rod Burgundy 2 episodes in a row, man.
He was trying to do it again. That's it. Hope you guys had an entertaining 40 minutes listening to us. We'll be back Thursday. Peace.